Hey everyone, Irit here, and today I am doing an unboxing and swatching and just sharing with you my first impressions from the Vicki Boutin watercolors. So these watercolors, they are not artist grade, they are kind of craft watercolors. They're very inexpensive. I got mine in my hip kits as the March color kit. It was part of the color kit. And they, according to Vicki, as far as I understand, they're kind of more like a gouache. They remind me of the Reeves watercolors that come in tubes, if you're familiar with those. And yeah, so I just opened the tubes, and I'm just putting a little bit of paint in this palette that I have here. This is the Tim Holtz Alcohol Inks palette, but you can use it for whatever you want. What I have on top there are some P.H. Martin's Radiant watercolors, and I cleared some space for this set. So one of the issues with the set is that the labels on the little tubes are not a good representation of the color of the paint inside the tube. So you want to make sure that you label these or number these and swatch them properly. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of paint. I'm not gonna show you the whole thing. So these are sealed, and you have to kind of puncture the tube, the opening part of the tube with the cap to get it to open. So that lovely part of the process is done, and now I am swatching them. And as for the colors, so I would say there are 18 tubes in this. I would say the color selection is not bad. There are kind of two nice shades of yellow. One is more lemony yellow. That's the first one I swatched, and then this one I'm doing now is more of like a warmer yellow. I would say kind of reminds me of Indian yellow. And then there is this orange color, which orange is pretty easy to mix, but it is a convenience color on your palette. So I think this is a really fun purchase if you want something very inexpensive and you want to just play around with some watercolors on your craft projects, on your, scrapbook layouts and such. Now, I haven't painted a lot with these, so I can't tell you. I don't have a lot of experience using them. I did play around with them, and I feel they would be really fun on scrapbook layouts. They remain bright once they are dry. Some of them you can lift, which means once they're dry, if you take a brush and you scrub at a certain area, like a wet brush, and then blot it, then you can lift some of the color. I really didn't put a lot of effort into seeing, how transparent they are. They seem pretty transparent. As I said, these are very inexpensive, and they're kind of a craft watercolor. However, I do want to mention that I find these type of products and watercolor in general, they are, for if you do mixed media and if you do art journaling and scrapbooking and that sort of thing, they are really versatile, because these, you can mix them with some white paint and basically create any color of acrylic paint that you want, and you can just do a lot with them. You can mix them also with the white. This set comes with a white, and then you get more pastel colors and really more of that opaque gouache look. So just again going back to the colors, there is also this kind of reddish orangey. This is on the second row on the left side. Then there is a little bit of a dark red that is kind of muted. That's the next color. And then we have this gorgeous, beautiful, bright pink, I would say a magenta color. Next we have a nice purple, a kind of like, I would say, a true purple. And then we have a color, a blue that really reminds me of ultramarine blue. It's more of a, a pinkish blue. And then we have two more yellowish blues that are a little bit similar, but one seems a little bit kind of brighter and a little bit more opaque. So that would be the one on the last row. Then we have three greens. One is very bluish, one is kind of more earthy, and then on the next page in my journal here, it's kind of like this more of a, I don't know, like a true bright green. It's not a color that I use, but it is a nice color to have in your palette. And then we have three earth tones. So one kind of reminds me of an ochre color, and then I would say that orangey brown is somewhat closer to a burnt sienna, and then there's the more brownish one. I'm really not an expert for all the earth tones because I don't use them a lot. And there's also black and white in this set. The black is pretty intense, and I was just mixing it a little bit with the white. White is obviously opaque, and you won't see it too much on the white paper. So I was just trying to see how these, how they move, how they flow. Yeah, they're okay. Some colors were flowing into each other. I would probably reach for these when I am working on my scrapbook layouts and I don't want to use my artist grade paints. Some of the colors are really beautiful. What I feel like with this set, I feel like if you choose the correct colors, you can pretty much mix any color you want. And I tried to mix these and they blend. You can mix them without a problem. They blend easily. They kind of behave like other, I would say, yeah, inexpensive watercolors. I don't have anything bad to say about these. I enjoyed playing with them, and you see me now just playing. And now I wanted to see, I basically chose as my primary triad this lemony yellow, the magenta color, and one of the more warmer blues. And I was trying to see what I can get. And you can pretty much get all the colors or almost all of them when you just mix these three primaries. So here I'm mixing the yellow with the magenta, and I can have a really nice selection of oranges going from very yellow orange and into the reds and then back into the magenta. And now I'm going to mix the magenta with this kind of cyan color. This one is the little bit brighter one. I just like bright colors, and you can see you get really pretty shades of purple and violet. Now I'm going to see how how this looks mixed together with the yellow, and I'm going to again be able to very easily get a lot, like a nice variation of greens, from more bluish greens all the way to the lime green, which is, the lemon yellow with just a little bit of that blue. So you can see here how with just three colors you get a lot of variations. And if you want to start going into the more muted, earthy, neutral colors, then you just need to mix all three of them in different proportions, and that would give you a variety of neutral colors. So I really could use just a small part of this palette to get all the colors I desire. And now I wanted to try one of the classic combinations in watercolors. That's the ultramarine color with the burnt sienna, or what I felt was closest to those colors. And those, when mixed, they create a really nice neutral gray color. And yeah, as you can see, it worked. I got this really lovely gray, not a problem. So these are also, the colors kind of responded the way I expected them to. If you have a little bit of knowledge in color theory, then you shouldn't have too much trouble getting the color mixes that you want. Now, if you're a beginner in watercolors, if you're a crafter or scrapbooker and you want to kind of dive deeper into this magical world, I highly recommend my most popular class. It's called Watercolor Workbook. You don't need any previous knowledge, you just need some watercolors, and these would do perfectly for that class as well. And I just show you a lot of really simple ways to just start playing with these. So the next day you can see these dried just as bright. They really didn't lighten a lot, which is great. And I'm just showing you a bit of a close-up of that gray mixture that I did and how the colors flow. These are fun to play with. And I also show you I made this color wheel just with the same 3 colors that I was mixing before. I did add a little bit of that ultramarine blue color, and yeah, just playing with them. Now I want to show you, this is overnight. The colors did dry kind of flaky. You can re-wet them, it worked, but I recommend just squeezing a little bit, and because I think when they dry they become really flaky. You can work with them, but it's just, I think it's easier with a fresh paint. I hope you found this helpful. I will be playing with these in my next videos, so I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.